Acceptance, it comes in different forms. This is also possible. Acceptance varies. It happens, circumstances and situations, sometimes your own limitations, sometimes other people's imperfections. And sometimes the behavior of a loved one, even a loved one. And we're not talking about codependency. It's just that sometimes we come to accept the style of life of a loved one, which up until that moment we tried to cope with in a variety of ways, by pleasing him, bending under him and playing giveaway with him, or gently trying to point out some problems, or actively trying to save and preserve, either pathetically appealing to reason and conscience, or using eloquence and logical argumentation. Due to our extreme efforts, for some time we managed to maintain a precarious balance, extremely, however, unstable, until the next slightest reason, trigger, after which our dear soul again bursts out with righteous anger, or is offended to its very depths, or falls into rage and aggression, or falls silent for a long time, shocked by our moral decline. And we again intensively reflect, where and what did I say wrong? What can I do to prevent this from happening again? How else should I grow above myself so that peace and tranquility remain longer in my home? Of course, I timidly hope that my dear little one will also somehow learn to get along with me and others, but I place the main burden of peacemaking primarily on myself, and often on other family members. We are gradually developing our own forbidden and acceptable vocabularies, what we can talk about and what we cannot talk about, our registers of correct emotions, what I can feel and express and what I cannot, our repertoires of correct behavior, what I can do and what I cannot do. Along with the regulations, tension reigns in the family, weakening only during periods of physical absence of the main subject of truth and the object of peace. However, everything has a limit. And then one day the wife suddenly decides that her periodically drinking husband will no longer be the object of her emergency efforts, and she will be with him exactly as long as her feelings tell her. Or the mother, who all the time created the most favorable conditions for her critical adult son, suddenly stops playing this game and says, let it be as it will be. Or an adult daughter, tired of constantly pleasing her increasingly devaluing mother, one day says, she is what she is. They all essentially came to the same conclusion, I'm not going to pour so much of my emotional energy into this anymore, because it's too costly. They do not renounce their loved one, do not reject him, do not stop loving him. They just started to treat themselves a little more carefully. Jay Knipe says roughly the same thing when describing a client, a 60-year-old woman whose son was a constant source of stress for her. After our sessions, she did not stop loving him and did not stop thinking about how to give him real help, but she became broader look at what she can and cannot do. She reported that the work made her sadder but wiser, and gave her the perspective she needed on how to think and feel about this relationship. At the same time, there is a certain, not very, really, great, hope that the subject of truth and the object of peace will also think about something after this. And perhaps it will even change. But it is not exactly